The famous Hever Castle Gardens were created much later in the early 1900s by William Wardell Foster, an American millionaire who bought the castle in 1903. He restored the castle and built the beautiful gardens, including the Italian garden with statues and fountains, the rose garden with hundreds of varieties of roses, the lake, which he had dug by hand. It took 800 workers 2 years to complete. Astor's work turned Hever Castle into a peaceful and elegant place, combining medieval history with natural beauty. Moat, located within the walled garden section and contains over 5,000 rose bushes. Roses are planted in blocks of color, from pale pinks through deep crimsons and purples, including pillar-trained climbers. One key to best time to visit this area is around June through September, when the rose bloom is at its peak. Water features and lake. A large 38-acre, 14-point Tahoe lake was excavated at the far end of the Italian garden. The labor involved around 800 men worked for 2 years to dig the lake. Other water elements include Half Moon Pond, cascades, grottos, a formal fountain in the Loggia area, and a water maze on 16-acre island. How the water lake idea was made and why. Astor wanted not just a garden, but a grand landscape that blended classical formality with romantic water features. The lake was integral both as a reflective, leisurely element and part of the vista from the Italian garden Loggia. The land originally included marshland. Part of the work was reclamation and shaping of the terrain to support large-scale water features. The lake and water features also help connect the castle to its natural setting, the reflection of the castle. The movement of water and the integration of woodland walks complement the formal gardens. From a practical point, such features would have required engineering for drainage, water flow management, perhaps diverting streams or managing existing water courses. Those specific technical details are not always fully documented in public sources. The design at Hever Castle Gardens shows a fusion of several garden styles: Italian formal with classical statuary, English country garden, rose garden, herbaceous borders, and naturalistic landscape lake, woodland walks. The water lake features elevate the garden beyond ornamentation. They create mood, reflections, scale, and a sense of movement. Hever Castle moat depth and width. The moat is about 3 to 4 meters deep, around 10 to 13 feet. It is approximately 7 to 12 meters wide, about 23 to 40 feet, though the width changes slightly in different parts around the castle. Hever Castle is located in Kent, England. It is one of the most beautiful and historic castles in the country. It was first built in the 13th century, around 1270, as a country house, made of stone and surrounded by farmland. At that time, it was not a royal palace, but a private family home that later became a fortified manor house with a moat and deep ditch filled with water for protection. Over the centuries, Hever Castle became connected to some of the most famous families in English history, especially during the Tudor period 1500s.
These books 8 times a day.
The de Hever family were the first recorded owners and builders of Hever Castle. The family took their name from the village of Hever, and the castle's name also came from them. The castle was originally built by William de Hever in the 13th century. It was designed as a stone defensive house, with small towers and a surrounding moat for security. The de Hever family lived there for several generations before the property passed to other noble families.
Contained in this space, the finest fabrics have been hung on the wall. Portraits of the king and queen on his wall side most of her English attendants, likely including absorbed the French court's sophisticated culture. She observed influential Louise of Savoy and Marguerite d'Angoulême to England in 1522.
Especially during their children's infancy and childhood. Later, perfect retreat during the tumultuous years of 1526 to 1529. In this room, Anne would have slept either alone or with her mother. Life intimate of confidants would make known as the sweating sickness struck England, a virus to have killed its victim symptoms. Henry fled. Shortly after leaving court, both fell ill. As to Anne, throughout her illness, and despairing over the absence of his best doctor, he sent her father would be well enough to return.
This is called the staircase gallery because Astor created a grand bedroom fit for a rich Tudor guest, such as King Henry. The bed dates from that time and is the kind that the king would have been used to. It has curtains around the sides to keep the cold out on winter nights, as well as to stop servants peeking at you. The canopy over the top makes it cozy too, but there's another reason it's there. Onto you while you slept. That's because Tudor people tended to sleep more propped up. Why? Because they didn't want angels to think they'd died in the middle of the night and take their souls away. But that was a luxury for rich people. Mr. Astor was real particular about Tudor styles hidden just above the AB and HR for King Henry. HR is for Henry. It runs the whole length of the castle. Big enough indoors. So a great room for musicians to play in and for dancing. Say Anne Boleyn herself haunts this room, where ghostly Tudor music drifts through the castle. But it wasn't used for fighting in battle. This kind of armor was for a sport called jousting. And try to knock it. The other objects in the room are from. Take a look at the room in the gatehouse, part of the original castle, built long before the Boleyns moved in. See where the portcullis changed, where the guards could use something called a winch.